You probably wonder, why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
What's the answer?
The answer is the liar knows what lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer's over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still gonna be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place, is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nigga nose, it can only be niggas. Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part? Nobody wanted to knock an eye off or take an ear off or no chins missing. No, just the nose. Because it's a brand. It's a brand.
I'm so jealous of black people. They're just good at everything. They're just naturally athletic. They pop out of the womb and they're already playing fucking football. If they get into a fight, doesn't matter who the other person is, okay? I'm putting my money on the black person. They win every time. They got that beautiful chocolate skin that never gets burnt. They say they get sunburnt. I've never seen it. Me, 5 minutes in the sun, it looks like I was thrown into a deep fryer. They've got waterproof hair. They come out of the water, their hair's the same as when they went in. Me, I come out of the water, I look like a cancer patient. Fast as fuck in every sport. I mean, when have you seen a white guy being the fastest? Maybe in the Paralympics with the wheelchairs. Everything they do is just cooler. They've got good style, good taste in music. They can cook good. Girls always got cake. And me personally, I'm an ass guy, so all the black chicks hit my line. The guys, they've got fucking horse meat as big as my forearm. It's not fair. Leave some stuff for us. Fuck. What do we got?
Hello guys, welcome once again to the channel. I hope wherever you're watching, you're having a great time. Now, we have always talked about how black people are very important to the global existence of human beings. And right now, whites are realizing the importance of blacks because many of them are currently talking about how blacks are blessed to have this melanin. You know, growing up, many were taught that blackness is something that should not be appreciated. It is something that does not deserve any appreciation. But right now, when they are learning the truth that has always been hidden away from them, they are realizing that all the education that they were given was a lie. Blacks are people who are chosen by God, and there are people who are blessed by one thing that is rare, and that is melanin. They're realizing also that melanin is very important in existence of a human being. The way it makes you appear and how it sorts out some of the things that others who don't have it have to contend with is just breathtaking. In today's video, I came across a clip of white people talking about how they wish they were black. This is a very rare occasion for whites to admit that they envy black people. Let's watch the videos, then I shall come back in the end to give my commentaries.
They don't hate you because you're poor. They don't hate you because you're different. They hate you because of this one thing. Melanin. Let me break it down, step by step. Step 1. What is melanin? Melanin is not just skin color. It's a powerful pigment found in your skin, hair, eyes, brain, and even your organs. It protects you from the sun. It absorbs light, stores energy, and literally fuels your cells. It's a conductor, a communicator, a protector. Now ask yourself, if melanin is that powerful, why have you been taught to hate it? Step 2, why melanin was demonized colonizers needed to dominate. But how do you conquer people whose skin is naturally in tune with the universe? You don't just enslave them, you break their spirit. So they turned dark skin into a curse, called blackness primitive, praised whiteness as pure, made you ashamed of what gives you power. They made you believe that the very thing that connects you to the sun, nature, rhythm, and cosmic energy was a flaw. That wasn't ignorance. That was strategy. Step 3, the scientific truth. Here's what they don't want you to know. Melanin regulates your immune system. It exists in your pineal gland, the spiritual center of intuition. It helps protect DNA from damage. It's why your ancestors could survive harsh environments without sunscreen or medication. Melanin isn't a flaw. It's an evolutionary gift. But instead of celebrating it, they created a global beauty standard that demonized it. Step 4, the real fear. Let's talk truth. They fear your skin because it absorbs energy and reflects power. They fear your presence because it triggers ancestral memory. They fear your culture because it's encoded with ancient knowledge. They fear your DNA because they come from you. That's why they criminalize blackness. That's why they police melanin. That's why they profit from it, while telling you it's a curse. It's not a curse, it's a code. Step 5, awakening time. You were never inferior. You were never less than. You were born with the same frequency as the sun. Melanin is not just pigment. It's power in its purest biological form. And that's exactly why it's the most policed, politicized, and misunderstood element on Earth. So next time someone tells you you're too dark, too loud, too real, tell them, I'm not too anything. I'm melanin made, solar charged, and ancestral backed.
Oh, I do think that white people are absolutely jealous of black people, specifically with the community, and also with like fashion and music and everything else that is appropriated. But by design of what whiteness is, it inherently lacks community. And I think we're absolutely jealous of that. And I've heard biracial people say that they do see that difference in their own families. Because in addition to European cultures being more individualistic than cultures from Africa, South America, and indigenous North American cultures, the invention of whiteness in America erased a lot of ties to actual culture. So when I say like white people, black community, I'm not talking about like Polish people or German people or Irish people. As I explain in my book, I just wrote the intro and I'm working on the conclusion today. Y'all keep me in your prayers. In the course of human history, white is a relatively new term. As we discussed in the introduction to this book, white is a North American term emerging from the 1600s as a term to justify the enslavement of Africans and squelch revolts from poor Europeans and indentured servants. Before this term, Europeans would identify with their nationalities. The Irish, Italians, Germans, French are all very different cultures. Thus, there is not the same communal tie to whiteness as there is for people from other communities. Further, since white was created to be a divider, a separator, it is not a happy identity. It is not something people want to admit they relate to. It doesn't have a rich, healthy history. Speaking as a white American who has conducted national level research on white Americans, we tend to say things like we have German, Irish, Italian, etc. ancestry, even if we have never been to those places. This is because all white Americans have ties to immigration, and because these identities are actual cultures, they do not have roots only in oppression. Now, we know who started colonization, right? So this is the book I'm trying to finish by Monday and send to the editor. There's a free chapter in my bio if you're interested on one of the unwritten rules of work. The book is predominantly about class, but I talk about 3 other identities that you can't talk about class without talking about these other identities, and race is absolutely one of them.
I just have to make this video. So I am on Black TikTok, and it's probably because of the posts that I like, the posts that I repost, the comments that I make, the content that I've built brick by brick in my For You page, which is mostly standing up against white people. And honestly, the algorithm probably believes that I am black. And here recently, after Donald fucking Trump has caused so many, especially these pasty ass, wrinkled ass, sunburned ass, SPF 50 ass wearing ass white women, to come on this internet and say the most egregious, disgusting things that I have ever heard in my life. I just want to say, I now understand why none of us can be trusted. I now understand why y'all don't trust anybody, why you don't feel like you can accept any of us into your space, into your heart, because time and time again, white people continue to show out because they are so jealous that they do not possess the divine DNA. They do not possess the melanin that we all know is a God particle, a great transmuter, alchemy. They know that. Subconsciously, consciously, whether or not the deep-rooted hate was instilled by them through generations, the originators of whitewashing and oppressing black people, which I guess has been for fucking ever, they knew through science, through studying the difference in DNA and even bones before DNA was a thing, that black people possessed the God particle, melanin, something that no one else possesses that is white. And they are so jealous that they cannot stand it. They can't stand it. They hate themselves. They wish they were black. They wish they were black. That's why they have to claim everything that black people did, because they wish they were black. And let me leave you with this also. Recently, I saw a video by a young black man, and he said that some of the racist things or things that have given him black fatigue, he named the fact that white men in the gym will say, "I wish I had your build." And he said, whatever the fuck that means. I'm going to tell you what it means, because I've had a lot of white men that I thought were not racist at all, like that I didn't even think about it, you know. In casual conversation, they'll just say to me, like, we'll be watching sports, or mostly when we're watching sports, but even just TV, like, let a black man show up on that damn screen. And every time a white man says the same thing to me, yeah, you know, black people are just naturally gifted at athletics because they're naturally athletically built. They're just naturally muscular. The white man and women are jealous because not only do black people possess divine DNA that have shielded them from total obliteration through oppression, through having to go through and endure the most wicked, disgusting things that you could ever imagine, whether it be through the L word with trees, whether it be through being outside all day, whether it be through grape, whether it be through every single disgusting thing that the white man has systemically put black people through for hundreds and even thousands of years before this continent even existed. White people would have never survived. And black people have, and they have still been a part of society, because you can't kill them. You can't kill them off. I know you want to, but you can't, because they're too strong. They're stronger than us. They have more mental fortitude than us. They are divinely encoded. Their bones are encoded with sacred and ancient code, light. You ever heard of the frequency grid? They are the lattice keepers. They are the nodes. They are the divine presence in this world. And you bitches are just jealous. And although I wish that it did not have to be this way, although I wish that I could be the exception, or that people like my mother, who taught me, number one, no, don't you ever trust a white fucking man, and number two, don't you ever trust the fucking police, and number three, you better watch for your privilege, you better identify it, and you better use it to your advantage to uplift every single black person that you are around, in the vicinity of, or can speak up for. And that means sacrificing yourself. It breaks my heart that I'm not trusted. But what the fuck would I expect How could I expect any different when I see and hear not only what they have been through, what they go through on a day-to-day basis, and then I see you pasty assholes saying the shit that you say. Black fatigue? Ghetto? And then I keep seeing the black on black crime bullshit. I've already made a video where I pull up the statistics on crime. It is widely taught in cultural academics that white people, even given that they account for a slightly larger bit of the population now, and I hope we will become the minority soon, but it keeps getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. 50 years ago, the white population was like 60% more. Now it's like a slow margin of like 24, something like that. But white people, even considering that there are more white people in this country and that the police do not police white people the way they do black people, white people still commit more crime than black people in every single category of crime. But let's name the worst ones. SA, oh yeah, that's white men. That's white people. Especially their own children. Mass, white people. Little Timmy over there with his fucking notebook. Dylan Roof going into a church with black people who welcomed him in to worship with them and then shooting them all. White people. White on white crime. White on black crime. Violence in general, domestic violence, all of that. Look it up. White people commit the most crime. And on top of that, they collect the most government assistance. And that is taking into account the fact that white people account for a slightly larger number of the population. So don't come to me with, oh, well, it's going to look like they commit more crimes because there's more of them. No, bitch. We're taking ratio into consideration, and we're also taking into consideration that white people are not profiled the way black people are. Do you know that I was arrested? I was arrested when I was 21 years old. I had so many blues. You know, blues, a cut thing that you drink out of, a little tiny baggie with residue of some sort in it. Do you know I was arrested and never searched? I was not even searched when I was arrested. I was able to park my car on the side of the road, have someone come and get it. Handcuffed in the front, got to sit in the front seat of the police car, and was not watched when we pulled up to the jail and when we entered the jail, allowing me enough time to take that out of my pocket and shove it into my crack. I was not even searched. So you cannot tell me that your statistics are true. See, this is what y'all do. Y'all whitewash shit and you lie. You blatantly lie. Look the shit up, educate yourself. Everything you believe that is true about this country is not. The people who invented shit, the people who founded shit, the people who owned land in this country. I am from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Do you know how many black families had their land stolen from them? And it is literally still within the deed books at the courthouse. I know because my mother she worked with deeds. Y'all are valid, and I am so fucking sorry on behalf of every white out here. I'm so sorry. Damn, I hate y'all. Y'all gotta ruin it for all of us.
Bingo. Clocked it. Because ultimately, this is why I find it so incredibly important to decenter whiteness from your queerness, no matter what you are, black, white, brown, whatever you are. And this is why I found it extremely difficult to maintain and sustain friendships with white queer people, because there is this constant self-victimization that is laughable. It's like you'll be in a conversation and you'll be like, hey, I'm dealing with XYZ because of my marginalized identity. And they'll be like, well, I'm also dealing with XYZ. And you'll be like, okay. You're just venting to them. You're literally just being a friend. You're venting and you're saying, well, you know, I couldn't pay my rent. Well, I couldn't pay my rent in 2003, so it's like, okay, girl. Literally try to play this game that you didn't even realize you were playing. And the wild part about it is every single time you see that like light of curiosity and spark in their eyes, the moment they feel like they can like be friends with a person of color. And this is like truly, I've seen this in lots of like white queer women, almost as if they're like the white queer Thanos and they got one of their infinity stones the moment they get a person of color as a friend, because they like latch on and they're like, how can I suck from the host? Like, how can I try to one-up you and play Oppression Olympics every single moment, every single opportunity that I get? It's scary. And this is why it's so dangerous to be a person of color that is queer. Because what happens is we see danger, right? Like as humans, we know how to find danger. We know how to see danger. The problem with white queer people is they will be the danger that was lurking there the whole time and you had no clue. You'll be 3-4 years into a friendship only to find out, oh, you didn't like me. I was just one of your infinity stones for your virtue signaling, for your potluck. Oh. And like the older I get and the more into my queerness and my queer journey I get, the more I can clock those like red flags. But it is it's very debilitating. It's very painful. It's very hurtful. But yes, the jealousy is absolutely there. Clocked it.
Pose the question, why do white people hate black people so much? I have been in situations where I've been surrounded by nothing but white people. And this conversation has come up. The race conversation has come up. And no one ever has an actual reason as to why they hate black people. There's always these, oh, black on black crime. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're this. But it's not actually, there's no legitimacy behind their reasoning. It's just shit that they've heard and they're regurgitating. And so, long story short, it really comes down to there is no reason. It's a deep-seated jealousy, a deep-seated hate that, you know, black people exude greatness. Black people are the great inventors. Black people are the beginning of the human race, the Eve gene. And white people have worked so hard to erase the history and erase the greatness of the black race. Down to even when things are invented, the majority of things that are invented were invented by a black person. But yet the white race has actually erased the original inventor from history and have put their names on things that they had no business putting their names on.
Melanin. Most people only think of it as the pigment that colors our skin. But this molecule does something far more than just paint us. It protects, connects, and communicates with the light that sustains us on Earth. Melanin is a complex biopolymer found in animals, humans, and plants. It absorbs ultraviolet radiation, shielding our DNA from damage, and it converts a portion of that light into usable chemical energy, almost like a natural solar panel. It's in the hair, skin, and eyes, and even inside the brain and inner ear. Without melanin, life on this planet will be far more vulnerable to the sun that gives it power. Ancient civilizations sensed that there was something sacred about this dark substance. In Egyptian temples, the color black wasn't a symbol of death. It was fertility, rebirth, and divine potential. They saw the darkness of the soil and the cosmos as the womb of creation itself. Across Africa and the ancient world, darkness meant origin, not absence.
When light meets melanin, energy is transformed and stored. That exchange between light and darkness is the same dance that powers the galaxies, photosynthesis, and human life. It's the cosmic rhythm written in our biology, a reminder that we are not separate from nature. We are nature expressing itself. Somewhere along history, darkness began associated with fear or negativity. But scientifically and spiritually, darkness is the start of creation. Every star is born in the dark. Even seeds sprout in darkness. To honor melanin is to honor that creative principle, that intelligence that turns energy into life. So the truth about melanin isn't just about color. It's about connection to light, to earth, and the universe itself. It reminds us how intertwined we are with cosmic energy, how connected everything and everyone is, especially if you're a melanated person. You are extravagant. And it's not that you're better than everyone else, it's just that you are amazing. And you need to know that. Remember, the universe expresses itself through every shade of creation, and melanin is one of the most beautiful signatures.
I can never not love black people. You can list all the bad habits, the negative stereotypes, the black on black issues. You can name whatever you want to name. You can list it however you want to list it. I can never stop loving black people. Do you know why I can never stop loving black people? It's because to not love your people is to not love yourself. If you have read or researched the smallest amount of information that you can about who we are, you can never not love black people. Because we are the catalyst, we are the origin point, we are the genesis, we are everything everyone wants to be. They just don't want our bad habits. But our bad habits are the result of not continuing the fight that our ancestors started. We are not our ancestors. And you're correct, you're not. Because if you were, 75% of the shit that goes on today wouldn't go on without action, without consequence. See, we traded in rebellion, we traded in action for peaceful protest. We traded in liberation and freedom for negotiation and bartering. The problem with that is you sit there and you aggressively posture while trying to over talk and out yell your enemy. The enemy has already understood that you are afraid of anything further than negotiation. So the enemy sits there and lets you yell, lets you talk, lets you scream and shout as much as you want, knowing well that you won't take a step past that line that he or her drew. You were taught what they wanted you to believe about Jesus. You were taught what they wanted you to believe about yourself. You were taught what they wanted you to believe about how to live and how to become successful. You were taught by criminals. You were taught by rejects. You were taught by the people that Europe didn't want. You were taught that you were less than by people that are actually less than. Whether you call yourself black, African, African American, you are the father and mother of everything you're looking at, of everyone you see. Take pride in that fact. All of this heartbrokenness, betrayal, and now you hurting people because you a hurt person. You can't seem to trust your brother and sister because you've been betrayed and your trust has been broken. The show must go on, regardless to how many times you've been hurt, regardless to how many times you've been betrayed. The best thing we can hope for in this pro-black thing, if you actually do it, some good people from the movement will come and speak on your behalf at your funeral. The best thing you can hope for is that the fight continues after you've made your sacrifice. Because the enemy, the devil, has made it a climb to Mount Everest to even communicate with your own people. The enemy, the devil, has made it a climb to the heavens to even get your people to participate in the movement while they're calling themselves pro-black. My people have broken my heart more than any other race. Black women have broken my heart more than any other woman. Black men have betrayed my trust more than any other men. Yet I still prefer my brothers, my sisters, my people. This is not a game of pandering. This is understanding of what the big picture is. Every action against pro-Blackness is a score for white supremacy. And if you know that, you wouldn't do or say anything that would betray pro-Blackness. So before you make a video on the internet demonizing black men or black women, you should ask yourself, whose face you trying to put a smile on? Understand the YNs in the streets, the young kids in the streets are in the streets as a consequence for what the parents did not do. Now you can sit up here and say, oh man, I went to work, I provided a great life. Yeah, but that child lost time, love, guidance, and nurturing that could have kept them out the streets. And I understand you got to get the bills paid, but the money you make do not pay the payment due that is past due. You getting a red letter from it for the bill that's due on that child's heart, on the nurturing that's due, on the guidance that's due, on what's needed to keep that baby out the streets. And even so what? He's in there. She's out there. There's skills to be learned in them streets if you use them correctly. This goes out to the young brother and young sister out there busting and moving, out there dripping and sliding, out there doing your thing. I understand you feel like you got to be out there. It's skills to be learned. It's things you can learn that you ain't going to learn in school. But you got to understand the longer you stay in it, the higher the chance that graveyard coming. And you might think to yourself, nah, not me. Yeah, you. No one is exempt. The baddest amongst us is the ones that go first. The ones that put in the most work is the ones that go first. This is not my law. This is universal law. You live by the sword, you die by it. Understand it. So you get what you need out of it. You learn discipline. You learn responsibility if you're doing it right. You learn how to talk to people. You learn how not to talk to people if you're doing it right. You learn math if you're doing it right. I know some people right now, but you can learn math in schools, not the way we do it. You can learn math right off the top of your dome. You can learn math right off the top of the head if you're doing it right. You'll be eyeballing shit real easily. The goal here is to take a large amount of brothers and sisters, whether those brothers and sisters move to Africa, whether those brothers and sisters stay here in America, and surround ourselves with each other on land built by us, on land fertilized by us, on land where we can build our homes, where we can build our own food, where we can do us without any influence from white supremacists, without any influence from the European reject. We have to learn how to unlearn the conditioning taught to us for the enemy. You are all being conditioned to be consumerist slaves. And if you choose to do nothing, your children will go to that. Your children will be a sacrifice to it. You are already a sacrifice to it. Right now, they working on your great-grandchildren. That's how far into this plan they are. But you busy worried about that next purse you finna get. You busy worried about them Jordans. You busy worried about that watch. You busy worried about some stupid ass shit that you don't need because you are a consumerist slave. Which is exactly what they want you to be, exactly where they want you to be at. My only question for you is, what have you unlearned recently? What part of the white supremacist manual have you unlearned? How many black men have you inspired today? How many black men have you empowered today? How many black women have you affirmed today? How many black women have you empowered today? In what way have you expressed love to your children? If your answer to that is, I paid the bills, I went to work, you failed. That baby walk out that door every day and everything in this world is telling them they a criminal, they not worth nothing, they ain't gonna be nothing, they never gonna be nothing. And your only remedy for that is I went to work? Cool.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, listening to the whites that you've just heard speak, you'll get to understand that they are now looking at blacks and they are envious of everything that blacks have. The only place where they draw the line is tolerating things like racism and systemic oppressions that blacks get from institutions within United States and across the world. So they are realizing that they need blacks in almost every aspect of their existence. Some white individuals may feel envious of black people because of the consistent dominance of black athletes in many major sports such as basketball, football, track, and boxing. This visible excellence challenges long-held stereotypes and can trigger feelings of insecurity or comparison, especially in societies where physical prowess and competition are highly valued. A key biological factor contributing to athletic advantage in many people of African descent is the presence of higher levels of melanin. Melanin not only determines skin color but also affects the body's ability to handle sunlight and heat, which can improve endurance and recovery during intense physical activity. This natural protection allows for better stamina and energy efficiency in certain environmental conditions. In addition, many individuals of African ancestry have inherited genetic traits that favor fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are crucial for explosive movements like sprinting and jumping. Combined with melanin's protective and metabolic benefits, these traits can enhance speed, strength, and agility, qualities that are often celebrated in sports and performance. This visible success can create a psychological tension for some white observers who might feel overshadowed in areas where physical dominance is prized. In societies that have historically associated power and superiority with whiteness, seeing black excellence so clearly displayed can stir envy and discomfort. Ultimately, melanin represents more than pigmentation. It symbolizes resilience, adaptation, and biological strength, developed through evolution. While these natural advantages are real, they should be recognized with respect rather than envy, as human diversity in all its forms enriches and strengthens the broader human community. I think whites have to realize that black people have been created with this advantage so that they can continue helping in building the world as it is. And that is why for many times I've always said that blacks are the ones who built United States, and that is a history that cannot be denied. Because of their strength, because of their ability to handle heavy workload, they endured years and years of persecution so that they could build and industrialize America to make it the country that it is today. So I believe that in as much as sometimes we tend to look at black people and think that they do not deserve anything, for example, for those who speak, especially when topics like reparations is talked about, they say that they are not ready to pay blacks any free money. And reparations are not paid because blacks have not done anything. Look at how America is beautiful. Look at how America has industrialized. The technology that it has, the inventions and innovations that it has made, many of them can be attributed to blacks who are in the United States. And then if you look at blacks, you'll realize that they have not even benefited of these inventions. So there is a sense in which they need reparations. There is a sense in which they need to have people come and appreciate the work they have done over the years. So that is what I have to say over the entire situation. Share your thoughts down in the comment section. And if you're watching us for the first time, please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share. Thank you. Let's meet on the next one.